Griggs County Commission, 1:03 p.m., December 16th. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call. John, here. Dale, here. Ron, here. Sean is missing today. Troy's here. Approval of the agenda. Since last night when we got that agenda, I added the storm day this morning. Oh, okay. Because we'll talk about it when I get there. Anybody have any additions or corrections to the agenda?
No, I would move to approve it.
Been moved by Ron to approve the agenda as presented. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. Minutes from December 2nd. Do we get new levy sheets this go around?
I will get them for you. Absolutely.
Because they changed just a little bit, didn't they?
Right.
Yeah. Anybody see anything on the minutes?
I don't see it. I hope to approve the minutes.
Been moved by Dale to approve the minutes from the December 2nd meeting and dispense with the reading. Is there a second or motion? Seconded by Ron. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Bills.
The only thing that I had was in the meeting minutes, you guys had approved to buy that gravel from Tom Gilbertson and Sons. The voucher to do that is right here, and it didn't get put in with the bills. So.
Oh, it's not on the
No.
list. Okay. Few budgets are going underwater, looks like.
Yep.
What were all the flood transfers? Was there? I don't remember talking about that.
No. Wayne said he was going to spend more money.
Yeah, that's what these are. There's
Some projects must have been completed.
Oh.
2009 was completed, and so we got to transfer the money.
Well, we did talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
So I think we're kind of expecting it anyway.
okay. That's right. That was a few meetings ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's quite a few of those. But.
And they're just transferred to the general fund.
They're paid out to townships.
Oh, that part of it,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
What's left can go to the
General fund. What's left is going to be the county's portion of the administration costs. If there is any left, do you know?
I don't know right now, no.
Any other questions on bills?
The road department, that's fuel. Road repair, where's the fuel in?
What's wrong?
Oh, Troy said the fuel budget is going over budget?
I said a few budgets are going underwater.
Oh, I bet it said, yeah.
It's the road repairs is under my.
Mm-hmm.
General telephone,
It said fuel budgets.
no.
All right. I stand corrected.
But I think that road one is because we had get reimbursed for that one, correct? Is that,
The repairs budget?
I think so. Maybe not.
I don't know who would reimburse us for that.
Why is it on there twice?
Because two bills are coming out of that same account.
Oh, but I see it, but it's not reflective. It's the same negative balance. Okay.
Because it doesn't reflect what these are gonna go.
Our software does it that way? No.
Huh?
Well, look at page 7 and look at it. Okay, so the amount for 4157, it leaves at 5538.99.
Right.
Then the amount of
$5.
566 is still 5538.99. The software can't do it that way. So that has to be a manual entry. It should leave the balance. It should be $5.36 different.
It doesn't do it on any of them. Like if you look at the 2011 road fund,
Mm-hmm.
the balance is always, for each of these 20 checks, the balance stays at 12,665.38.
That's because these checks haven't been written
Yeah,
yet.
until they're approved and written, it doesn't take them.
It won't take that out because that's what the balance is right now before these checks
Before
are
the
written.
check is written.
Right.
Then that doesn't do us any good to look at that balance.
It really doesn't.
The software has the ability to project. The software has the ability to put that bill into the system and then show the balances, and then when it's approved, then run it through. We went through this last year. So remember, I went and sat down and played with that, and it shows the ability. Okay, here's the checks that are going to be written, and here's what the effect will be, and then once they're approved, then it's run through.
Well, I remember talking about it, because like for the 2011 flood in particular, we could be way overdrawn for all we know. You know, we just don't have any idea if more checks are being written. It could be 5,000 over or 5,000 under, but, so the report doesn't do much good the way it is, but if.
Well, it's a month behind.
Yeah, well, that's
Right.
until the checks aren't written.
This negative balance is last month's balance. The last time we posted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but I guess if you could look into it and see if you could show the current balance after this check is written,
Okay.
that would sure help be
Okay.
better for us to have.
But he has the ability to do that.
Okay, I didn't forget.
I forget the terminology they use, but it was approved, pending and something else were the categories you could put it in.
Okay.
So you really have to add those two amounts together to get how much is over.
Right.
And in the case of multiple, you have to go through and find the.
Makes it a little tough.
You got it.
I move to approve the bills as presented, the inclusion of the gravel payment to Gilbertson's.
It's been moved by Dale to pay the bills as presented with the addition of the Tom Gilbertson and Sons invoice voucher. Is there a second to the motion? Seconded by Ron. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. Ron?
Aye.
Dale? Ron?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carried. Sheriff DES Hook. Huh. What timing? Or were you standing out around the corner? Were you standing out around?
15. Well, I'll start then. I guess the DS reimbursement came in, I believe, yesterday. That's what the receipt says. We got the paper from Sam. Another request was going out the first week of January to finish up 2016. So it'll be September through end of December.
So this is from 15?
15, yeah.
Yeah, there'll be a couple months and 14s on there too.
So you.
So there's one more coming in.
Well, we gotta, yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta make, you actually have to apply for the grant first and make a request, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've got a request into the state for a printout for everything we've had. So
So you're gonna apply for the grant and then make the request?
we've already applied for 2016. We've already have that.
Okay.
It just, we just finished up the 2015 money. Now I'll start tapping into the 16 money. The 16 grant will go till the first of 18. That's all it is.
Right.
Oh, it's not every year you'd have to do
No,
that.
it's not a year, it's by a different period.
Right. It's a two-part process, so you have to
Yep.
apply for the grant and then you apply for the funding.
Yeah, you apply for it, spend the funds down locally, and then I'm reimbursed for it.
Reimbursed.
So we'll get our check sometime in January for the last 4 months of 16.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at page 13, it says the performance period is from October 1st of 2014 to September 30th of 2016.
Yep,
So-
that's our 2015 grant.
But it's a 2-year period, that
Right.
for those 2 years,
Yeah.
all we're getting is $7,000. That doesn't seem like much.
No, that's only for 2 months of 14.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, no,
So-
that's not what it says.
Right, but I applied for 2 months of 14, the last 2 months of 14.
Oh, so this
2 or
is,
3.
this isn't through September 30th of 2016, then?
Yes.
This is just for 2014.
No, that's for 15, that's what that thing approved for 15, and then those few months 16. So-
Because
Okay.
we didn't even apply for a grant in the previous,
Okay.
so it only, you could only go from 10 of 14 through 10 of 16, basically, right?
That's how it flows. So now, these last 4 months of 16, I'm gonna apply for reimbursement on those the first part of January. And then the next 3 months, we'll apply for those in April. So I can do it that way or yearly, however you guys wanna do it.
But we can't go pick up 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 that we didn't collect any money on.
We collect money, I'm going over. I'll have to, when I get that printout, I'll give you all the, supply it all to you.
It looks like 12 that we didn't even apply for the grant. 13, we didn't apply for the funding. 14, we didn't apply for the grant. So that would have been 13 and 14. And then in the end of 14, the 15 and 16 we applied for, but we have to have 16 funded by 9/30/2017.
Yeah, and you've already funded 16, so 16 will be totally reimbursed
Right.
once I get into January.
But we can't go back and try to pick up 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 because those grant periods are closed and we didn't collect anything, so we're not able to go back and collect either,
Yeah, I'll have to get a print, I don't have it with me, so.
you know.
So I guess, yeah, because like in our budget, we had estimated that we have revenue of $20,000 from the DES reimbursement. Obviously, we're falling short of the revenue
For which year?
for 2016. For 2016, we estimated 20,000 revenue.
Where did that estimate come from?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, because the grant award will be 20,000.
The
It
grant
would
award
be half of our
grant
budget.
award would be 50% of the,
Like probably 7 or 8 grand. Something in the ballpark.
For the 2-year period.
Yeah.
each year.
No.
Each year.
Each year.
It's award, the grant, you apply for the grant for 2 years and then you apply for a refund on a yearly basis, right?
Right,
Yeah.
so I guess to put it, for 2016 grant, I'll be able to apply for money from 2017 on that grant. It's a performance period of 2 years. So we can, this point forward, we can stay.
9 months in 2007.
We can stay ahead of the money, right?
Well, I thought it was a 50% reimbursement.
It is,
Okay.
yeah, it is, so, but, you know.
If there's expenses, we pay over the amount, the allotted grant amount, like the 50% of our total. If we spend over that on something we have to do, we're not gonna get reimbursed that. The grant money is set at a certain dollar amount. So I'm getting a print off from the state, I'll provide that. It'll be up here to the electronic tab.
But somehow we didn't get paid for all those years when we were actually spending the money. That's kind of just disappointing.
Yeah, I go back and look at that because we did get grant reimbursements for those years.
Oh, we did do it, but it's just not shown.
I'll track it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't show up on our print, unless it went to a different account.
Yeah, it sure doesn't show up.
But it looks like if you go back to 10, the only payment we've gotten so far that we can document is this 76.59 we just got the other day.
Yeah, and that's what all the amounts have been about that. They changed that formula like in 07 or 08, they changed the formula. It used to be a higher rate, they changed it off and down a couple of percentage points.
Well, I found online where in 12, there was $11,111 available, but we didn't access any of it. In
I think in 12, there was if I'm not mistaken, in 12, there was a reimbursement for $7,000, but they'll have to track
It
that down.
didn't show it, and then in 14, there was $9,080 available that we didn't even put in for a grant. But maybe the state DES website isn't up to date either.
Until I see what they say, I don't have any more information than you guys, so.
Yeah. On this page here, though, they do show for 12, they show that 7,500 revenue and the 11,000, which was for something else, I guess.
I was just looking on that, what's the name of the program, EPHA, is that what it is?
EMPG.
EMPG, exactly.
Program grant.
Got
Right.
1 out of 4.
Oh, the E part. But that's what I was looking at,
I
okay.
know on their bookkeeping, it's for whatever reason, it's labeled, they have 2 categories on their columns, and this one will be EMPG, and it'll say all expense, everything else will be sort of the federal EOC grant, it'll come out like that. So it'll be pretty easy to read.
Okay, all right.
We returned that $3,000 to them in 13 that the state had given us for that help with that exercise cost with Foster County.
But we never got any funding, we didn't even apply for funding in 13 according to the state. We didn't apply for
Well,
funding?
it would have probably, that likely would have been 2012 money, but it was designated, it come to the county as a training expense, training money to do a joint exercise.
According to what the information I have, we didn't even apply for a grant in 12, and in 13, we didn't apply for the funding. So there was no money in 12, 13, and 14. So if there's money we returned, it was before that.
Well, when you guys took over, I put in that paperwork on that training money to do a joint exercise with Foster County, so our responders could attend that. And that's when you guys denied me to spend that money. So I just got gigged to that by the state. I have to somehow make up for that somehow.
What for?
Pardon?
What for?
What do you mean what for?
I mean, why did you get gigged on that?
Because it's one of the requirements for us to keep our program going. As an emergency manager, I should have attended that exercise and brought first responders with us. We weren't able to do that because our funding was cut out of it. So Foster County went forward with Reynolds County without us.
Well, the training that's required is spelled out, and that can all be done online. I've got all that information here in front of me. The training that you're talking about would supplement or be in addition to the training online, but the mandatory training online doesn't require you traveling anywhere. It can be done. They're 100, 200, and 300 series courses. And
I know that. I'm not talking. But I have to take part in exercise, the full scale tabletop now. And our jurisdiction was given $3,000 some by the state to do a joint exercise with one of the other counties. All the counties do that because no one can really afford to do it on their own. So the state supplied money, and we were going to do ours with Foster County.
Yeah.
And that told me that's just one of the things. And I would show you a paper I got from the state. I have to somehow make that up.
It's pretty much irrelevant because the state didn't give us any money in those years anyway, so we weren't in violation of anything because we didn't take any of their money.
John, I've got the paper. You guys had a copy of the paper when you denied the expense. We had it.
No, we didn't get any DES money in 12, 13, or 14. So if you were in violation of the training, it didn't matter because we weren't getting their money anyway. We got the training money, but we didn't get the money that was supposed to come in to fund our DES. Okay. So I mean,
yeah,
yes, we might have denied the money, but it didn't put you in violation because we were in violation because we never took the money. So that's. It doesn't matter. We can't collect this money anyway. We're just going to make sure that going forward that we make sure that these grants are followed through.
What's this list on page 14? I mean, there's not enough information there for me to glean much from it.
I don't know what page 14 is.
That's just a list of the amounts into the DES account, so it's all the different grants.
Okay.
And it didn't itemize really which is which. So that's all the money that went into that DES account.
Well, I get that, but there's no detail on this. I can't tell what they're for.
Right. What I'm going to get from Steve, I'll have the detail right now.
Right.
I tried to get it yesterday, and she's not available until Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah. Everything got lumped together. It's quite possible the payments Bob's talking about never got put into that account. It got put somewhere else, and you didn't pick it up.
Okay.
Because there was some issues with that payments not going right place, and we straightened them out as we came across them.
Then the other question I have, and it's a question that I keep getting asked as far as what your intentions are,
yeah.
And what exactly, how much duty time are you not able to provide to Griggs County because of your other employment? And again, you don't have to answer that. That is an issue between you and the public. But it would be nice to know the answer so that when people ask me, I can have a correct answer to tell them, or maybe not. Again, it's entirely up to you.
I got a call today on ask me that question. I mean, I've been telling people what you just said. It ain't between me and Bob, it's between you and Bob.
Right.
Right, exactly. What I'm working weekends. I work all the weekends. I come in for the weeks. I usually work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and all week long I take care of administrative stuff. All week long I work in my computer. What my intentions are, I will have that answer within probably 2 weeks.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's
Yep.
as long as
I'll be honest with you, there's a couple things going on. There's some personal stuff going on, and there's some health stuff going on.
There would no reason, just some kind of guidelines on what.
Yeah, when we work, we all work 24-hour shifts.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can really do with staff I got. So.
And certainly, if there's a major change, you'll give us enough time.
Absolutely.
To change.
You guys will be basically almost the first one.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Bob.
Thanks. Anything else for Bob?
I have one question. What are the intentions of snow removal in front of the VOC over there?
It's on the agenda.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to move it.
And it's not a dog in that fight. I'm just curious. Right now in front of the VOC, there's a pretty good lump of snow between the sidewalk, and I just know it's going to get hard. Someone's going to break their leg. And
No, we're going to discuss that. It's on the agenda now.
Okay. I just we try to keep sidewalk shovels on the weekend best we can. I just want to make sure that No,
It'd be easier if you weren't here when we discussed it, because one of the options was to have you hand shovel it.
I thought you were buying Wayne a bobcat.
Well, the second option was to have Wayne hand shovel it.
I had to find somebody else.
Okay.
Okay, nothing else for the sheriff. Thank you, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
Can I ask one more question?
Yep.
Where are you at with, did you ever get any contractors to finish the building or what, inside?
That's on the agenda too. I don't know the answer to that yet.
We've got a couple different contractors now that have expressed interest, so.
Okay, I just-
And, just the woodwork is all it's really.
Right, okay.
Schultz is gonna finish the heating and cooling system, but we just need to get those doors hung and get the trimmings. I mean, we need to finish carpentry and get it cleaned up and get in there. That's,
But, yeah.
so the carpentry deal's it's on the agenda today, but I don't know the answers yet.
We do have two people, I think, that have expressed interest, so I presume that.
I'm just curious.
Yep. Well, as well everybody is, even us.
All right.
I get lots of questions regarding that. Okay, Wayne?
I had to look at my folder. What's the pages delivered?
You started
Starting on 15.
One request for reimbursements.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's quite a few of them. 4, I think.
Yeah,
Five, there should be
5?
five.
Okay, I'm just trying to make a list.
Yeah, should be five.
Okay.
I missed one last night when I sent it to you, so you were missing one in there, and I.
These are just reimbursement requests that we need to
Yep.
approve.
project numbers there. CNOC 00020, Parenthetical 14. CNOC 2004, Parenthetical 059. CNOB, CNOC 2020, parenthetical 054 for 10,000, which I've been reading it on. And CNOB 2003, parenthetical 59 for 1,254.09. And 1176 funding of CNOC 2019, parenthetical 057 for $4,000. Did all funding reimbursement requests to the state.
I make a motion, we approve the request for funding for the before mentioned project numbers.
Been moved by John to request reimbursement as presented by Wayne. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion?
I think they total, if we want to put it, I think they total up to 31,654.09.
Yep.
But as long as we're all clear, that's what we're going to approve.
Okay. Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carried.
And
Do you have the originals, Samantha?
I do.
I think we agreed to go ahead with the tractor lease again this year. Anyway, got an email from Terry Trainer, this was November 4th. Association of Counties has signed an agreement with John Deere to renew its tractor lease program for counties, pushing the expiration date out to February 12th, 2018. The new rate schedule is slightly higher than last year, copy of which has been attached. Agreement is open to any local government agency. Anyone interested is advised to contact the local union soon. Mention contact number North Dakota Association of Counties 4-01. it says counties are under no obligation to run tractors through this agreement if the county can work out an acceptable alternative with another vendor. They urge to do what is most advantageous for the county. And this last week, Mark Kennard from Leading Edge stopped over and was wondering if we were going to go ahead with that because then they would order the tractor. And our time is July, I think, when we put the replacement tractor. We leased it for a whole year. Maybe, I guess.
How many hours do we put on it?
I think we've got about 300 on there now.
And 400's max? So you're gonna get close to that before, you might have to park it before they come and get it?
Probably. We've been using it a lot now in snow blowing. In fact, Brian, I think, is through Hopkinson's Hill. Is road here.
What's that?
I said Brian is out there with the blower right now, and I think he's
Oh, he's working
worked
on,
through. We went through the pasture. I went out there this morning with
oh, he's going up the hill.
Vernon, and then we go across the pasture with my pickup over to that gate, and then so Brian went out with the blower, and he's almost up to the top. When I got the word that Gary's in the ditch over by Tennyson's with his truck, so he's bring the nylon rope. So I did, and they'd already busted one. And so I had Jim come over there. We couldn't get it out, so then Matt's was on the way over there. He's there too now. Probably, I don't know. Just down that little dip there north.
So what do you charge for the tractor and blower?
We just been charging $80 an hour, the same as snowplow truck or
I see.
motor grader.
I didn't know.
And we've used that over there on the Iverson Road by Jarl Iverson's place. There was drifts there, and then on by Colin McClant, the long stretch there. We do, and we're on the hazard road. We go out.
You haven't hired Gilbertsons yet?
Yeah,
They've been over in Foster County for a week.
yeah, I heard you're over in Carrington over there.
We got two of those big blowers.
I talked to Lee. They rent them out for $375 an hour, or not rent them out, but that's what they
That's
charge.
what they charge?
Yeah, we got two of those big ones.
Yeah, no, but they get a lot of work
Oh
done.
boy.
Well, hopefully winter doesn't keep going like it has, or probably have to get your work done.
Well, they're gonna mount it on.
They're on four-wheel drive trucks. No, they're not.
It's an actual truck.
They're beast.
Snow.
Right. It's like a 1,200 horse engine on the back of the truck that just runs the blower, and then the truck's got its own propulsion unit.
Didn't we have one here a few years back?
Yeah, when the state came up with that in 96, 97, they had one that used for the airports.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gilbertson's got two of them sitting there.
This was like smooth tires on that, so they couldn't really,
Right.
they didn't want to go into the ditch or anything like that, you know. Maybe these have got
I don't know. I've
grips on
seen
them.
them.
I mean, they make them with all-wheel drives that are, made for that, so.
City of Grand Forks had blowers with self-contained blowers on the front of their front end loaders,
Yeah.
and those things were animals too.
I'm open to purchase.
It's Chris,
But
Nope, we don't need any.
if we could just go ahead with that lease, that would be great. Should have used it a lot, use it on the retriever.
We haven't taken action on the lease yet. Isn't it in the budget? I mean,
Yeah, there's $8,000 that are,
so, but they want to know, right? They want us to take action.
I have to sign a paper
Okay.
saying for them to go ahead and order the tractor.
Okay. What's the one you have? A 6170?
65.
6155. Okay. Didn't even know there was such a thing.
Yeah, it's a little bit smaller than the one we had before. 6155 RW. It's a loader on it.
Okay. What are your wishes, Millers?
Yeah, I'd make a motion to go ahead with,
What if they change the lease to suddenly increase it?
Well, this is,
Or they just,
last time they quoted me a price, and then when they came to the bring the lease papers, they increased it by $2 an hour, and I said, no, you told me whatever that was. Well, that, I don't think they included the loader. I think our horsepower is the 180 to the 135 horsepower.
No,
No,
6155 is 155 horsepower.
right.
Oh, that's there.
$21 an hour, that's pretty inexpensive for
What?
$21 an hour.
I'll still make the motion.
Yeah.
And then release it.
It's been moved by John that we enter into a lease agreement with Leading Edge of Carrington for a loader tractor for another year. Is there a second in the motion?
I'll second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. Deb, John.
Aye.
Dale.
Aye.
Ron.
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries. If you could rent one for $20 an hour, you wouldn't own one, would you?
I could rent it for about $4,000 for the cost.
If I could rent one for $20 an hour, I'd rent 10 of them and rent them back out for $40 an hour.
And I was
Well,
gonna
you probably could, you wanted in jail.
I don't know the penalty.
I know you've probably seen in the vouchers that Association of County Engineers Conference is in Fargo. And if anybody's interested in coming, I would be more than happy to make your reservation. Here's some of the things that are on the agenda. It's an holiday.
Oh, yeah.
Breakfast and door prizes are like things like 10.
Hmm?
That's it, 10 breakfast and the door prizes.
Well, they're just close enough. $5 is social.
Social.
Social door prizes. Probably a good meal in there and.
Yeah.
Your mini vacation.
Yep.
Thanks. I'm going to Cozumel diving. That's my vacation.
March or February.
February 11th through the 18th.
You done a lot of that?
Huh?
You done a lot of diving?
Not a lot. Probably 30 times maybe. I don't know.
It's not the diving that's so hard to do, it's the surfacing. Gotta remember that. For that reason.
That's all I got. Anybody, A or nay?
I'm good, thanks.
Let me, yeah, no taker here.
Okay. We'll keep trying.
Okay.
I'll go.
There you go.
There you go. You get a pointer, you can go and take notes for us.
There you go.
Okay, is that it, Wayne?
That's it.
Alrighty,
Thanks, Wayne.
thank you.
Thanks.
Generator bids, did we get any?
We got one generator bid. Wayne, do you want to stay for that?
Yeah, they dispersed that flood money out to the township.
Yeah, we got that.
3%.
Do you want to stay for the generator bid?
Huh?
Generator before?
No, I was always trying to be respectful, but I gave up on that.
$4,500. We got one generator bid.
Who's that from?
Abraham Generator Sales.
Who's accepted generator, $4,500 from Abraham?
Been moved by Ron to accept the bid from Abraham Generator Sales for $4,500. Is there a second to the motion?
I'd second that.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale? Ron?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries.
I will, no.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Wayne.
Thanks.
New courthouse carpentry.
I haven't heard from anybody. So.
I have a number here, Craig Stockland. He called me, 789-9507.
Lives right down the airport road?
I don't know that. Referred by Maury Steffen, Sean's wife.
He lives on the Christensen farm.
Okay. And he,
I had happy hour with him last week on that.
well, maybe you were the contact. So Troy quit.
Yeah, I guess so. We're on our own. So you don't know anything about him?
I don't.
I sure don't either. I've never heard of his work or anything.
You want to return this call and
Well, I don't know.
tell me you or Troy too, or both of us, or you or Dale?
Do you know anything about him?
I just know did work for Sean. When they raised the roof in the back of that house, put the dormer or whatever they did, he did that for
I mean, it isn't a real complex. It's hang some doors and.
Yeah, he was one of us could call him, I guess. Did you talk to him?
I did, he left me a voicemail, I just wanted to walk him in there.
Yeah,
You got time to.
you could probably just return the call and just tell him it's hanging doors and put it on a wood base. And see if he's got enough experience.
Or we could even do it during the meeting.
Yeah. That'd be better. Then we could vote on this probably. See how much, because he should give us an hourly rate, like, that he'll charge for an hour or something.
Yeah, I would think so. You want me to call him? You want to talk to him?
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna call him right now, you mean?
Yeah. Or John?
Yeah, okay. Did he do some work for Maury?
Yeah, Sean
him.
said.
They did that, raised that dormer in the back, but upstairs, they were kicked the roof out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Was that last year?
Thought Sean was a do-it-yourselfer.
Pretty much.
Hi, this is Griggs. Please leave a message and I'll call you back.
Oh.
Thanks.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hello, Craig. John Wakefield. Returning your call about the work to be done at the courthouse. Give me a call. We're in a commission meeting right now, and we can have a talk with you. 701-789-0666. Thank you.
Okay, let's keep going. Server room, you guys I've kind of forgot about that. I know we've talked about it before, but
Well, I mean, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever to put an air conditioning unit in the
server room.
inside the existing unit, because all we're doing is cooling air and heating it back up again. We've got
Move it.
colder air out in the hallway, put a vent there, put a power fan on the other side and pull the air through there. Put one on the bottom, one on the top, pull the air off the bottom, blow out the top. It will, if you move enough air, it will be cool in there. But the other way around, it's like putting an oven inside your refrigerator or vice versa. That's no sense at all in that. That's silliness.
Well, the other option is just to leave the door open
Well, he didn't like that.
He didn't like that, but I
No,
didn't think.
That's, well, I mean, not with this rash of Russian hackers on the loose.
Yeah, it might be. Some terrorist might attack.
I haven't seen the swans walking around, look, trying the doors.
But I mean, that seems like a very feasible way to do it.
Oh, I agree. We just need the thermostatically controlled fan.
Right. Yeah. And again, the air intake on the bottom and the hallway is cooler there, and push out the top. And it'll put, I think it'll push it right into the bathroom then, then that's able to be, the heat and air is able to be controlled, so you can heat the bathroom with the heat you're taking out the server room.
Is that the same thing then, a secure vent and evacuation fan? Is that what you're saying? So we should have him, his second option. I guess we should instruct him to proceed with this second option.
Okay.
But I mean, it doesn't need to be any.
Is there a motion to that effect?
I mean, just a regular old $2.50 vent you cut between the studs and let it pull it in. And
Or they can cut it in the door or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, remember the old classroom doors? They were all
yeah, same
vented.
thing.
So, is there a motion to that effect?
Yeah, I move to have him proceed with his second option, a secure vent and an evacuation fan.
It's been moved by Ron to instruct Travis to pursue the second option for cooling the server room. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. It's really stupid right now to have air conditioner running in there and shooting it outside in the wintertime.
Well,
The air conditioner should be shut off in the wintertime. So. Bank of North Dakota certificate of the county.
Do you want to do modifiers?
Yeah, I crossed that off the list already. Modifiers.
Yeah, I think we can go through it probably real quick.
Sure.
Page 33, that's one list of modifiers that I found. And then on page 35, there's another one. So I guess what we should do for sure is put a date on these darn things so that, because we don't know really which one is the latest and which one is revised. So, and I'm sure we don't want the one on 33 where it says the total percentage of modifiers used by individual townships rest with the county commissioners, but the county commissioners must request the soils committee for a recommendation. We're obviously not inclined or obligated to do that. So it's probably the one on 35.
That's the one I remember seeing.
Yeah, because I think we increased the
Rock
max to
modifier.
50%.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think we did that. I thought we did that for rock too.
Yeah.
That I don't think it was supposed to be.
Oh, we raised it to 20.
Well, I didn't think that's what we did.
no, I remember raising it to 50.
Well, somebody better look in the minutes.
I could go to 50% max on any combination.
Right, but so if you had it to 40% on other ones, you'd still will get 10 rocks, or you couldn't get any. Yeah.
That's kind of the way I remember talking about it. But and I guess what we need to do, is a letter need to be written to the state? Probably it does. It's sending the revised one with the date on it, saying this is what we want to do. I mean, I think.
Now, question. Wasn't like forested, is that not a modifier?
No, that's a category.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I know some of that stuff that we own along the river, it's almost valueless
Yeah.
from a taxable standpoint.
No, that's a category and
Okay.
Yeah, all of these, they're almost unreadable.
Oh, woodlands, okay, that's a 800, that's a soil type.
Yeah, like rocks, normally use 10% of rocks are present, well, there's always rocks present. And they go to 20 of great concern. Well, none of the assessors really know how to, with any of these, the way they're written, they're so vague, nobody knows what they mean or how to interpret them. And that's where I put probably quite a ways further back, like, I think I'm back on page 6 of 10. That's where for the rock modifier, it's over 25% of Broadview, and another 26% in Bartley Township. So it's just, if the assessors want to be friendly and say, sure, it looks like rock to me.
There's areas in Broadview Township where you walk for miles and never touching the ground.
But
Along the river out for about a mile on the west side.
But the king of rocks in Griggs County is Roosevelt Township, and they have 0%.
Yeah, it's just,
They do it by in Dover, and they got all these monsters pushed up in piles.
Yeah.
Flat, good looking land, and then there's.
How you gonna read that?
yeah, Dover has 0.2% of the total modifiers.
Like I said, Roosevelt has none, and they're
Yeah.
like solid rock. I mean, that's why it's all pasture, can't be nothing else.
Yeah, so, I don't know if we want to even try to address the problem, because, I mean, we don't have a soils committee. And I guess if anybody'd be responsible for doing it, it's probably the commission. If we had a tax director, I guess we could order the tax director to do it, but
I don't know how you do it.
I don't either, really.
I mean, the sole purpose of the modifiers and the classification of the land and this whole process is to try to determine what the land is worth. The free market determines what the land is worth. If you've got land that's too rocky to farm, it's going to bring less money than
It's gonna be
land
raised.
that's farmable. So why in the world do they go through all this commotion to try to classify it when we already have the ultimate classification, and that's prior sales?
Yeah, but the Century Code says they shall not use market value, they shall use the productivity as calculated by NDSU. So I said stupid.
But then again, so let's take it to its conclusion. So if the township doesn't do its job and doesn't equalize, and it falls to the county, if the county doesn't do its job to equalize and it falls to the state, there never is a penalty for not equalizing. It just goes to the next level.
Yeah, it's just ignored.
Right. How do you, without being, with being, how do you maintain impartiality and try to apply these modifiers to every piece of soil in Griggs County, or the categories of every piece of soil in Griggs County? There's not a possibility of doing
The
that.
only way they get applied is if the landowner comes in and.
That's right.
And complains, and then the township will act on his complaint.
That's correct. So we can't arbitrarily go say, okay, we're going to go classify every acre of land in Griggs County. We only classify the acres of land that people are complaining about. So now the people that don't have the ability to confront the situation are now left out in the cold just because they're weaker and milder, and that's not the way the system should work. That is no way in the world equalization. So,
Yeah, I know, I went to the meeting at Rosendahl last year,
mhm.
and it was a surprise to all the township people that a farmer could appeal on the modifiers. Because there was one farmer there that was really dissatisfied, and I said, well, you can write an appeal asking for your modifier on rock to be increased, and that was news to them and the farmers, so it's just not, nobody really understands.
But they didn't do it, apparently.
No, I haven't seen it yet anyway, so.
But years of being slapped in the back of the head for trying to oppose anything as trained people that it's useless. They just, well, why should I do it? No one's going to listen to me anyway. Maybe we should have an open house.
Open house.
Yeah, for people coming in to protest, to amend their property values.
Yeah, I'll be sure something, if we had a soils committee, obviously they could be working on it. They could try to figure it out, but I don't know if anybody, well, they probably couldn't figure it out any better than we could.
I think it's an impossible
Yeah.
task, and
Well,
just like a lot of things in government, doing nothing is probably the right answer.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's totally possible but not under these rules. And again,
Well,
the valuation is.
We don't get to write the century code though, so
No.
we can lobby.
Hmm?
We can lobby.
Well, I mean, we are ultimately in charge of equalizing the land. We could equalize, we could say, okay, here's the land values, and here's the land value for this type of soil, here's it for this type of soil, and do it that way.
Yeah, I think you were pointing out that Eddy County, isn't it? That they just said, we're not using modifiers.
They said exactly what I said, that the free market system basically
Yeah.
is the modifier.
Yeah.
It determines what land's worth.
When we did the modifiers in Broadview Township, like the stuff west of the river there, say, Lima land, which Tony Hines owns.
Mhm.
Somebody said, it's awful rocky, and then we just went and picked out everything else that we thought was similar to that and modified it all.
Yeah.
Without the landowners coming in and complaining, well, we just tried to kind of, just from our knowledge of the area.
Right.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
that's,
that's imperfect too,
yeah, I think that knowledge is being lost.
Yeah.
Because there's more and more people who just weren't on the soils committee or weren't involved like you did.
Yeah.
So like if I asked in Roseville, why don't you guys have a rock modifier? He said, hell, I don't know. They don't.
Right, in the overall value of the county can't change.
So it pits neighbor against neighbor,
That's
township against township.
and that's a lot of why people don't want to change anything. I remember when Tom talks about his dad when he was on the township board back in the days. The people that were on the township board in those days, they valued their own property higher than most of the rest of the neighbors just so they would avoid the conflict. That's maybe not right either, but the real estate taxes aren't a driving factor in the local economy really, and they just did that to avoid being questioned.
But one of the problems is just say that we're the four landowners in Griggs County, and we account, the four of us account for all the tax base, and Dale comes in and says, I want to modify my property, I want my values lowered. The three of us are going to say, oh no, you don't, because that's going to raise ours. It's a system set up to fail, basically.
But that's the game. That's the way it is right now.
So what's your recommendation, Ron?
Well, I guess, like on page 32, it does say that the county director of tax equalization, each county shall provide to the assessors, but I think we're supposed to write a letter to the state.
And they want to know what modifiers we're giving our assessors.
Yeah, and they have to approve it, so I guess we ought to write a letter. I don't know who the we is. Someone got to write a letter. And I guess this stuff on page 35 that we scratched I don't know, what we say for rocks. I mean, we're not gonna say normally use 10%. Well, we could say we shouldn't say it. Well, I don't know what we should say.
Well, you could theoretically have 50% rocks because at the top says modifiers to be used in 10% increments with a max of 50%. So if you didn't have any other modifiers, you could have 50% rock.
Yeah. But maybe there's fields get a 50% modifier for rock, but I mean, that's a pretty hopeless field.
Well, no, probably not tillable, it's rock.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other one we got, is below that NT, any area of crop soil that is not being tilled for any reason. So it could be the best land in the world, but if you don't till it, then it's NT, and I don't know what the hell that's for. Nobody knows what it's for, so I guess that's fine.
Stands for not tillable.
So, yeah, I guess we can just kind of, since there is no answer, maybe just write a letter submitting this to them, asking for approval. And then we got to remember to send it to the assessors, because I don't think this ever got sent to the assessors, that we increased it to 50%. But I don't know.
So where does this requirement come from?
Well, it's number 9 on page 32.
I know, but where's the binding authority behind that? That's not a century code.
Oh, yeah, it is. Page 32.
Hang on.
Yeah, it's 5702-27.2.
I was trying to find it here. Okay, here we go.
Okay, and then paragraph 7, 8, and 9.
Oh yeah, I got it.
Yeah, I can read them all now. Like number 7, it says before February of each year, the county director of tax equalization, which is us, shall provide to all assessors within the county an estimate of the average agricultural value of agricultural land within each assessment district. Yeah, I think we're doing that. I think Connie gets that number from NDSU. I still don't, I'm not convinced she's doing it completely right, but it gets done.
Okay.
And then number 8, each local assessor, we're kind of doing that. And then number 9 is the one that,
Right, so we just need to approve this schedule of modifiers.
well, we need to have the Linda Ledbetter approve it. Because it says it has to be,
Has to be approved by the state before we can
yeah,
give it to the assessors. That's in paragraph 9.
yeah, shall obtain the approval of the state supervisor of assessments at the very end. And that's Linda Ledbetter.
Did they approve our list last year?
Well, I was having you look for that letter.
And I don't know.
I
The stuff that Connie found was all.
kind of remember.
Yeah, we wrote the letter, but whether or not.
Well, I remember
that's sent.
Well, we were looking at a letter from Linda Ledbetter, and it says, we approve what you requested, but I don't know what we requested.
Maybe we requested that she leave us alone.
I don't know. But, so.
Yeah, I had looked through some of my files and I couldn't find it. I didn't go through the commission's information because I didn't know about when you guys did any of this and.
Well, I tried to look there, and I couldn't.
Well, the easiest way just to send a new list for approval.
I suppose to have, can you write it, or should Connie write a letter, or should?
Well, here's the list here, isn't it, the modifiers?
But shouldn't there be a letter accompanying it?
Yeah.
Saying, we hereby propose that these modifiers be, that you approve these modifiers for us.
Yeah, I mean, you're nothing more than a header. Please,
Yeah.
please see attached modifiers for your approval.
Okay, something like
Yeah.
that, yeah. So if you could write a letter.
But do we want to change these?
Do you want it to come from you guys or do you want it to come from me? Because if you have it from you
No,
guys,
from
I'd
us.
have.
It should come from us.
Okay, so then I'd have to have
I'll
Troy
sign
sign it.
Yeah.
If somebody,
But don't we have to first of all make sure these are the modifiers we want?
Yeah, we do. And so in particular on rocks, what do we want to say for rocks? Do we want to say normally use 10%? Probably not. They can use whatever they want. Just to be used in areas that contain rocks.
They go to 20% if they're a great concern. They concern some people way more than others.
Well, yeah, if you're greatly concerned, 20%. If you're really greatly concerned, 30%. If you're downright angry about it.
Well, I mean, it gives them, without that 20% being in there, it would give the ability to go to 50%. Rocks is the only one that that limits the percentage. All the rest of them could have a 50% modifier.
So maybe just scratch, may go to 20% if rocks are of great concern.
Well, again, I mean, if you read the top, the modifiers are used in 10% increments with a max of 50% for any combination per parcel. No minimum acres required. So you could have a 50% modifier for streams, inaccessibility, irregular fields, erosion, salinity, or bad drainage, or NT. So why can't you have a 50% for rocks?
Yeah, but do you think we should just scratch this whole
Because
thing?
if rocks are bad enough, it's also going to be NT, and you have a maximum of 50%, so you could still get to 50%. I don't think you need to do that.
This is Craig.
Craig,
Hello, Craig. John Wakefield. We're in the meeting here. Can you give us a second so we can get out of the subject we're on and get to you?
Sure will.
Okay, hold one. No, just hold 1 second. Just hold on the line.
okay, let's go back to the agenda item. Carpentry, new courthouse. Okay,
Okay, so Craig, there's the work to be done in the new courthouse is to some woodwork. It's already been stained and cut almost to length, baseboard and some things like that, and then to hang some doors. And that's basically it. We're looking for someone to do this on an hourly basis with the county providing the materials. So we would like if someone could come in and have a look at generally what needs to be done, and then give us an hourly cost on that. Would that be something you would feel comfortable doing?
Yeah, definitely. I'm heading to Cooperstown right now from Finley. Can I stop by there now?
Yeah, I guess you can. We could probably just take a recess or just move the meeting right over to the courthouse and the new courthouse and walk through it and do it right now.
Yeah.
Well, that would work for me. Otherwise, I'm coming back up about 4 o'clock for the concessions at the school. But I'm coming through Cooperstown in about 10 minutes.
perfect.
That'd be perfect. How about if we meet you at the front door of the courthouse? The new courthouse.
Okay. I'll be there.
Thank you.
See you in a bit. Bye.
Bye. Let's take this show in a room.
210. Okay, modifiers.
Well, for rocks, are you saying we should scratch scratch all this behind the rocks? Is that what?
Well, again, just my thinking on why we allow 50% of everything else.
But I mean, should we make some sort of, like, on the others, we say it's for areas lying next to rivers, or it's usually for when it's new roads blocking it. Should we put like a sentence trying to describe it, or just leave it? It doesn't seem like we ought to just leave it blank and say just plain.
No, I'm not saying that.
I think we should just leave it alone. Because if it's so rocky that it's not tillable, it's going to get to 50% because of the NT. If it's rocky and they're farming it, they're going to pick the rocks.
But that's the point. The point they have to pick the rocks have to extend the expense to pick the rocks. It devalues the land
by 20%, and not 50%. No way.
I don't know.
I don't know either, really.
I think we just leave it as it was last year, as it reads in 35.
And I think there should be a date added to this. I agree with whoever said that earlier. I think that's a good idea.
Effective date or something.
This should be put down for 2017 or,
Yeah.
an effective date would be fine.
And then in the future, we can just tell them there's been no changes to our modifiers, if that's the case, and then they should
Right.
have to trade the paperwork.
Right.
And the NT, I still think it's kind of a joke. I mean, if he's not tilling it for any reason, he could come up and say, I want a 50% modifier. I'm not tilling that.
Yeah.
He added this. I remember the conversation.
What's that? Well, okay, guys, let's do the logic of this.
Well, if you're a no-till farmer, you get a big tax break then.
No, let's do the logic of this. This is supposed to be based on productivity. And so are we mandating government's forced productivity? If I used the analogy before, I bought the bank building in Binford. Do I have to run that as a bank building because it provides more income to be taxed?
I never said we should take it out of there, Ron. I just said I know who put it in there.
Don't give me so much leeway. We better go down there and be there.
I'm just saying, if the farmer came in and said, I want a 50% modifier NT because I didn't till anything this year.
You should be able to get it. It's the same reason that I can use that bank building for storage, and I don't pay the property tax that it was valued at before.
Yeah, but I guess we should make clear our intent to all the assessors so that they understand what.
Well, our intent is to not force people to do something with their land they don't feel comfortable doing.
You want to go to recess, or do you want to?
No, I suppose it's being.
All right.
Catch me up my soapbox much more.
You mess it up there, or what?
Well, Bob didn't give us any review. No. You got a key, Scrappa?
I will grab one. I'll be right there.
Did you have a good time the other night in Bedford? I got home and I'm like, oh my
Thank you.
All right.
We'll just go through the back door.
All right.
Nice and warm over here. I went the back way.
Perfect solution to me.
Hard to do. I mean, I think it goes right. What's behind that?
I think that's a garage.
Better yet.
I don't have one with me.
There might be evidence,
This is the custodians.
but isn't there evidence storage?
There is evidence storage back there, yep.
Well, I think so.
I don't know how far back that goes.
But why wouldn't you just put a grate in the door and put a fan up here? not blow the warm air right into the hallway, John?
Who's that?
Don't know.
Get back in here now.
I don't have the pin.
No.
Somebody stand out here and watch for the.
Yeah, he's probably in here.
Well, it's hard. But that room doesn't come this far. It's not that big a room.
Yeah, it might. Well, yeah, it goes back quite a ways. Evidence storage, it's a pretty big
Oh,
room.
but the garage ends right here. There's something else on the other side. Well, this room is big.
Yeah, this room goes all on the other side of the garage for about, I think it goes for like 20 feet that way.
Oh, does it? Can you get us in there?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Another wall. They must have built another wall there. Because it says the brick isn't here, but it has to be there. Where?
Oh, it's got.
That's hollow core on the ceiling of the garage.
Yeah.
Can you just go into this room?
Where's glass? Here, what's it say?
Yeah, that's evidence storage.
Okay, it goes into the evidence storage.
Yeah, the evidence storage ends right there, and then the DES storage, that wall is right.
Right about here. So we can just go into the evidence storage.
Well, yeah, we probably really need a secure vent then. I mean, that's supposed to be a real secure area.
No, but I mean, if they can't get in here,
Yeah.
I mean, there's only going to be.
Mob will probably come in.
Right, so you can go in there,
Yeah.
or you go into here, it's the DS office. and then-
Yep, sure could. Yep. And there's DES storage back there too. DES storage probably really good.
I mean, you think that that's real secure? You think it's really secure? The walls go under the ceiling?
Probably not, but it's
You could
the,
probably vent it out in the ceiling and come out in a grate like this.
Yeah, we just need to bring it out.
Just in a hollow.
probably just remove more ceiling tiles and just exhaust.
So you don't want to put up in the attic or you'll cause moisture problems.
Oh,
There's space to bring it out in the hall just in ductwork. Suck it in here and blow it out in. And then a 12-inch insulated duct.
I did.
Yeah, just the wrong duct.
Yeah, insulated duct, you can
Right
put
out
it
here.
anywhere.
Put it right out here. Yeah. Just take it in there. Well, You can even stick it in, that's where these cold air return boxes or something, stick it into that. And send it right out.
Is there a cold air return? You know.
What's that?
Yeah, they can tie it into the cold air return and then just
That probably
put a
is.
fan in there and
that probably
pressurize
is
the room.
cold air return. These are hot, these are heat here. Probably is cold air. Well, there you go. That's right. Those are the construction guys.
Yeah. So, who's office?
Because they don't want to do it.
That's not gonna work.
I know it is.
So that's what we're gonna have to move.
There and there, so we gotta have the tax director put in here.
Well, you can't put those workstations in the middle of the room when all the network accessibility is in the walls. You gotta have them next to the wall. I mean, that's crazy.
This one, I suppose they're gonna lay a
It's not-
strip down.
It's not necessary. That- This desk should be over there, this one should be over here.
Yep. And then we still have to have the tax director in here.
That's fine.
Of these two desks, you say these two should be reversed?
Well, you can't put desks in the middle of the room when all the network accessibility is along the walls. In this,
Oh, yeah, I thought you said just reverse this desk to this desk,
Yep.
switch them around.
because if you turn this desk this way.
Oh, I see what
this
you mean
isn't the
now,
flat
yeah.
side.
I thought you.
This one goes there,
Yeah.
that one goes there.
Okay.
And they come into them from the back side here,
Okay.
all the power's there.
Yeah.
Then the tax director's desk goes in here.
Easy. Really, one of the recorders should sit here so they're close to.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
I can see right now it's hard to waste this much space.
Well, here's plug-ins here too.
Yeah.
Pretty good job of setting it up. Hmm?
Where's Samantha's new furniture?
I'm using my new furniture.
Oh, you're not getting furniture?
Well, I don't know where it would come from. I mean, I don't have
Is
it.
this a courtroom grant or something?
Yep.
Oh, so we are moving some furniture over here.
Treasure and.
I didn't get it. Oh, we should probably go talk to our carpenter.
Where do I go?
Hey, Greg.
I didn't know which way to follow.
Well, it's like herding cats. Well, it's just good. This is the biggest piece that we need to do with the thing. That base. Goes around.
Yeah.
All this business.
Okay.
Around that wall and here. I mean, it looks like a big pile of baseboard, but this is gonna be a lot of zigging and zagging.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the doors aren't hung.
They're pre-finished, just swing them and put the hardware on?
Yeah, the pre-machined hinges
And
and.
then there's some wall cap that's going on the bench and stuff. But
Okay.
So they're all pre-finished. The hardware must be someplace in that.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think it might be out there possibly, but it's here in the building.
Okay. Hinges and the knobs.
Everything.
Maybe a schedule.
Yeah, the close, yeah, there's a schedule too.
What locks go where?
With all, some of them get closes and some of
Okay.
them get kick plates and different things.
Okay. Just put the cap on there.
I think so. I think this. This is all metal studs, right?
No, all wood studs.
Wood studs.
Internally too?
Uh-huh, yeah, all wood studs.
Really?
Yeah.
That's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the frames are in.
Then I can.
Oh, yeah, for the base, yeah.
That past here is done, Craig.
Okay.
So there's all those doors hanging.
I thought I counted about 30 or something. It was more than we thought.
Here, here, and there. And then this panel goes wall goes in here
Okay.
on this header.
Okay.
So I mean, there's kind of not that much left to do.
No,
Really, is there?
it's just a lot of doors,
It's a
but
hell of a lot of doors.
So there's not gonna be a wall here anymore?
Oh, we're gonna use that wall.
That one.
That's fine.
Lori was talking about one like this. I'm like, oh my gosh, why don't they just use that one? But then
What now?
Lori was saying that you guys were gonna do one that goes this way, she thought. An accordion door?
Well,
Or
that's right
wall?
there.
Yeah, but that one comes from the ceiling,
Are
right?
you, no, I don't think so. I don't know for sure. I thought that one went this way.
Did it?
But
I-
I
the
don't
track is
know.
mounted up, and then it.
The track is mounted
Oh,
on the header.
gotcha,
and
gotcha.
It's accordions against the wall.
That's
Yep.
what I thought.
Okay, gotcha. Got it. Got it.
Got it?
I understand. I'm there now. I got you.
Panel quality, I'm sure it is.
Huh?
It says it's panel quality, so I'm sure it is.
Okay.
No, there's some of these. Yeah, I don't know. Scott Frederickson did some of it, and he may have organized some of the lots.
So Samantha, you've got a schedule, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the door locks, what goes where?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, plan. Show the swing and
Because she's got a box of locks. We just need to match up the locks
with the door and the opening.
with the right opening
You can give them a
because
full set of drawings. There's a
There's
door
a-
schedule on it.
Okay. You might have to help me with that.
you know,
I know I have my schedule.
sheriff master,
Yep.
that's people that have access.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's spelled out.
On the floor.
Oh.
Oh, they're just freestanding. So maybe they're cabinets or something.
Yeah, I didn't know. These got moved in here from somewhere.
I think they're extension stuff that was in the recorder's office.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, here's a whole bunch of somethings.
Yeah. What are you looking for? Yeah, I think he's downhill all the way home.
All the locks there?
Yeah, I think so. There's a bunch of them, Craig.
Okay. Thresholds?
Yeah.
And they're numbered by room, I mean, the one from 6A.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just get a print of the.
Samantha's gonna get him.
Here's some.
This is the recorder. And the equipment.
What's wrong?
What's that?
Well, I think the furniture is all installed that we want.
Right.
It looks like it, yeah. It's just installed.
No, we have to pay for this. Right. Found our exhaust fan.
Oh, do you, in the garage?
There.
Do I follow him?
What are you working on in Finley?
The Legion Hall basement
Oh,
remodel?
you told me that.
Yeah,
Here's what we need right here.
Got our outdoor part?
it's going back together now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they put it part.
Need a vent like that? And then just put a 6-inch tube on here and blow it right out into the cold air return in up in the attic.
And that one doesn't even need to
No, there shouldn't be much heat.
Is that an exhaust fan? Or air, AC?
be. That's just a fan because there's gonna be a server rack in there.
Heats up.
But there's no lid on that thing, so it isn't gonna get hot in there anyway.
But we just need
That
something
one
as simple as that. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
So when you,
Just gotta kind of finish up that.
okay,
Then I could bring a couple, me and another guy over here, and I usually charge $55 an hour,
okay.
and
Is that for you and the other guy, or just?
no, that's just for me, and it's 80 for both of us.
Okay.
80 an hour for both of us. And with the doors and hardware, that might be a little bit of time, this baseboard and stuff in here, day and a half, 2 days. It's all
Ron, were the doors all mitered, the hinge point?
Uh-huh, yeah.
They were okay.
They're
So
all-
they- And they're
Yeah.
all drilled and everything?
Yeah, they're pre-machined.
Okay.
Everything.
But I seen some panic hardware back there, that stuff takes time,
Yeah, it should be pre-machined for the panic hardware.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but, yeah, this should all be prepped and it'll,
I think she's kinda ready to go. It's
Yeah.
just, we just need to get you, a print so that you know what goes where.
Yeah.
And then you might have to wander around here looking for some, a few things.
Yeah.
We don't know where, there looks like there's little piles of stuff all over
Yeah.
the place.
yeah.
On the print ones, I guess. Is given a number, that's what's on the hardware too.
Okay.
You get this, Sam?
There's usually a door schedule.
Yeah, there should, in the main, there should be a door schedule.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
and a trim schedule also, although the trim schedule's been changed because it was so elaborate to start with.
Yeah.
It's pretty much take what we got there, make it work.
Okay. The baseboard is out here, I see, but that cap, is that out there too for the judge's bench?
It's laying there, it's
a
shrink
little
wrapped,
different?
and it
Okay.
says wall cap,
Okay.
Griggs.
Okay.
It's laying on one of those little stub walls in the courtroom.
Okay. Can I give you guys one of these?
Okay.
month.
Okay.
So, let me just get here when I can get here next month, or?
Yeah, as soon as possible. I think.
Motion?
Well, should we go and talk about it and then we'll call?
Yep, do that.
Okay. Alrighty, but yeah,
Which one of the days?
Okay.
I can get on it, so.
All right, thanks, Greg.
Thanks, guys.
So you'll be able to get on right away after the holiday.
Well, by January. That'd be the end of January. I'm gonna be gone a week over Christmas. Finish up a job I'm doing right now. But that job I'm doing right now is, it's only a 3-week job, and I got about 2 more weeks on it, so.
Okay.
So that's where I'm at.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thanks, Greg.
Well, do we have any other choices?
Not that I know of.
Ron, what do you think?
We don't have any other choices that I know of. He's the only one I'm aware of.
Then we haven't got any response at all.
No, not that I've heard or. But I did see it was in the paper again today, so.
What do you think, Frank?
Local contractor, I don't know, there's not that much left to do, I guess. Get it done.
I'd make a motion that we accept his $80 an hour for 2 men, and starting in January, offer to finish the woodwork and hanging the doors.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'd second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. Dale?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries. Should we relocate?
Yep.
Oh,
I got a key.
They keep this locked, but then it's open around the backside.
The other doors are locked too, though, is what I was told.
Well, you can walk through the garage.
But then once you get to the garage, then this door is locked. So you can get to the garage. Yeah.
The door handle's laying, and there wasn't a problem, it was laying on the floor.
No.
Let's try it.
yeah. That's what Brian's been cleaning the sidewalk for.
So we got the snow removal covered.
I'm winded.
What's that? Yeah.
I'm winded. Can I see his card?
What?
Do you have his card?
I do.
Thank you.
You keep Should I call him? Sure.
Okay. Bank of North Dakota.
Here, I'm calling him. You guys will tell him.
Hello?
Hey Craig, this is Troy. Yeah, we passed a motion to have you go ahead and finish that woodwork in the courthouse, so
Okay,
if you'd pencil us in, we'll see you as soon as we can. What's that?
I was gonna say I'll see if I'm getting there as soon as I can, and maybe I can change things around and get there a little earlier than I anticipated.
Okay, appreciate it.
Should I give you a call when I'm getting ready to start, or how would I get in the building? It'll be open?
If you come into the old courthouse and just talk to Samantha, when you come in the west door of the courthouse, just go up the stairs. She's the first office on your right.
All right.
Okay?
Very good.
Okay, thanks.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yep, thank you, Craig.
And then just give them a full set of drawings, you know,
Yep.
whole set.
And those ones that you had ordered before, those are the full sets, correct?
Either one of them. Yeah,
Okay.
we got 2 full sets done.
Good deal.
We don't have a copier big enough to copy them, do we?
No.
So,
Kinkle.
yeah, in far as you could. Or you can just, it was only, how much did it cost to print those?
No idea.
Like $100 or something, so we could just have it. I got, you got the name of that place too, that we had it printed last time. It was no big deal, they printed them and sent them up here within a day, I think, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really fast.
And it wasn't much different from $100, I think.
Do you want me to get him one, or otherwise we have 2 copies, so I could just use those other ones, and then if we need more, we can always order
Well,
more.
I'm kind of thinking, we got 2 full sets. As far as I know, that's enough. I had a set at one time, I gave it to that mechanical guy, but I don't really need them back. So I'll just let him keep them.
And I'm sure he'll give them back when he's done.
He might, well, yeah, but if he's gonna do maintenance, he might just keep them.
Oh, sure.
So, are you clear on modifiers, what you're gonna do?
Nope. So
Oh,
I was
yeah.
hoping you guys were gonna go back to that instead of going on.
Yeah, I think we should.
You're right.
I lost my adrenaline rush. I don't know what he was talking about.
I think you were making a motion to approve the modifiers as presented, with the addition of a date.
I was gonna do that, but before I did that, I was gonna ask Ron if I get anything more to add.
So, but what we're kind of agreed to then, I guess, is just, we'll leave the rocks just like they are. They'll go up to 20%. And the others are 50%. And then the NT, you know, the NT isn't really a modifier, but I guess maybe it is a modifier, I don't know. But apparently it's a modifier if it's on this page, so we can go to 50.
Well, we added it.
Yeah.
And the reason we added it is because if Dale decides he's got some of the best real estate in the county, if he decides to put a fence around it and plant grass and run cows on it, instead of farming it,
That's non-tillable. And you can pay half the taxes.
right? Now, whether or not that's fair, that's the argument that was made. that the use, you know,
The government can't coerce you into the best use of your property.
no, that's the argument, but that's what they're trying to do with this tax equalization process.
But they don't on commercial property.
I know that.
So they go to the use end. But I think the rock modifier should be just as a salinity, to be used in areas where excess rocks interfere with crop production, period. It already tells you what the limits can be, so.
They're mobile. Alkalinity isn't.
But the reason there's a modifier is because they cost more to produce that land. It costs more to remove those rocks. That's why. Because we're on a productivity increase, productivity basis.
Index.
We don't have alkalinity, do we?
Salinity.
Okay.
To be used in areas where excess salts interfere with crop production. Why couldn't that be for rocks? Why couldn't that be for every one of them?
Yeah.
Inaccessibility. Usually in areas where new roads block into path to a field. Well, there's a bunch more reasons it can be inaccessible than that.
Yeah, and like I was mentioning, this irregular fields, it's used on small fields with rivers winding through it. There's a lot of acres in Ball Hill that have that modifier. I'm not aware of any river that runs through Ball Hill, but
Bald Hill Creek.
that's a creek, not a river. I don't know. Maybe it is. I thought that went south of Ball Hill.
My whole farm is.
Yeah, your whole farm is.
None of my property is accessible from the west. Or the south. Or the east if there's a train.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, every one of them is kind of goofy.
Hmm?
I hate to just say to be used as the assessor sees fit.
We can just abolish them like they did in Eddy County.
Yeah. That's an option. We could do that. I suppose it would create anger amongst.
Well, I mean, okay, so if we left salinity the same, and if we erosion, if we said to be used on soils that are highly erodible or susceptible to blowing. I mean, why that's pretty straightforward. It doesn't have to be sandy soils. To be used on soils, to be used mainly on soils that are highly erodible or soil susceptible to blowing.
That would all for saline to be used on soils that have salt in them.
No, saline is perfect. To be used in areas where excess salts interfere with crop production. That's the most basic.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the most basic. That's the purpose of any of these modifiers. They interfere with crop production.
Mm-hmm.
Costs you more money. A small field, 10 small fields to equal 160 acres costs more to produce than one big field of 160 acres. I mean, O stream could be areas subject to overflow from heavy rains.
Mm-hmm. Inaccessible could be just fields that are inaccessible. You know, it doesn't have to be a new road.
No.
some of these already, like soil G 119A, it already says saving. You know, that's a saving type of soil, and others kind of say this soil type is poorly drained. So they kind of have the modifier built into the productivity index on a lot of them. G44A, poorly drained. So I suppose this technically, if they ask for a modifier, we just say, no, it's already a poorly drained soil, so you can't add on a modifier. But heck, I don't know. I don't think it makes so much difference. I'm willing to approve anything.
Modifiers are to be used in 10% increments with a maximum of 50% of any combination per parcel. No minimum acres required. Modifiers are to be used at the discretion of the assessor, and then list the modifiers. And don't put any statement behind it at all.
We could. I swear I've seen some of these lists where we have alkalinity separate from the salinity.
Well, it should be.
Yeah.
Alkalinity is acidic soil, and salinity is basic soil.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're not the same thing, but they're lumping them. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to go out there and check the pH if it's.
Yeah, I think alkalinity just got dropped somewhere. On a previous list for years ago, I think it used to be on there, and somebody just scratched it.
But if we left it that way, then the argument could be between the landowner and the assessor or the equalization board. And because we obviously know that some of these have more, there's inaccessibility caused by more than new roads, and there's old stream caused by areas that are not near a river or susceptible to heavy rain. I mean,
yeah, and then just leave it. If when we hire a new tax director, just her job is to equalize it between all the different assessors and explain to them how to do it, so that it's each township's doing it the same.
or you can do it like any county where they don't have any modifiers.
Yeah.
They say the selling price of the land is a modifier.
Mm-hmm.
And if you bought the land for a 50% discount, you already have the cost of production built into it, the extra cost of production built into it.
Yeah. Was that the only county that did that, or was there other ones besides any?
No, and I found out when I disagreed with them, and I agreed with them.
Didn't read the rest of them.
Agreed with the rest of them. No, that was more.
Because that won't work either.
No, we won't.
You know, I might have paid more for something
Yeah,
that
Because it's close.
because it's next to me that it isn't worth that much money.
yeah.
And so then, are you going to raise everybody's valuations to my level, or are you going to bring mine down to theirs?
Right.
I mean, it doesn't work. So,
But basically, if you look through them, there isn't a county that really defines it correctly. I mean, I look, even the bigger counties that you'd think have more expertise in trying to define this, and they don't define it any better than this terminology that's used here.
And boy, they sure, I mean, they've got some for railroad tracks, some for power lines, some for just about everything. And I suppose, I mean, apparently they just approve whatever any county turns in. If they say power lines are a distraction to have to drive around, a county can do that if they want to.
Well, yeah, wind towers that
Yeah.
limits the,
Well,
you can't spray it by air, that limits your
Well, yeah,
options.
that
You
would
did
be-
not get her done some year
That would be a good modifier.
Well, I mean, as Centrico lays that out, the productivity index was just set out, and then it was supposed to be refined from there.
Yeah.
But it just never has been.
Yeah, there would be.
And I don't have the expertise to refine it. I don't.
Well, nobody does, I don't think, at the state level or the county level or the township level.
But don't you think that was the whole purpose of it? So that we do just right here, just throw our hands up and let everybody pay the same.
Well, yeah, maybe. Well, it seems like the best idea was yours where you said to be used at the discretion of, take out all this stuff here. Just say to be used at the discretion of the assessor.
But leave the 10% increments and a max of
Yeah.
50%
Yeah.
per parcel.
And then just leave these names and get rid of the descriptions.
I mean, it makes it way too subjective. But how do you put down? At least it gives the advantage to the taxpayer rather than the advantage to the governing body.
Yeah, and if you happen to have a township assessor that doesn't like you, then you've got to appeal it to the county level anyway.
But I mean, the advantage should always be to the taxpayer. The limiting factor there shouldn't be limiting factors that just prevent you
Which
from-
taxpayer should it be to the advantage of? When the overall size of the pie can't change. You want it in favor of this taxpayer or that one over there?
But if the taxpayer that has the square 160 acre field is at a disadvantage, then he's free to bring that disadvantage forward and apply a modifier to it.
Well, yeah, well, that's where your idea of just, it should be based on market price. You know, I mean, ultimate property tax is supposed to be based on market price. So if this land is worth 500 an acre and this is worth 250 an acre, the tax should be twice as much. And how do you, the market price is the only way I know to tell.
Well, other than this system, so right now we say everything's worth the same unless it has special circumstances via the modifiers.
I guess maybe to get it off dead center, I would move to scratch all these descriptions here. Just add one sentence up there to be used at the discretion of the township assessor.
Mm-hmm. I'll second that.
Been moved by Ron, seconded by John, to approve our modifiers as amended
And add a date, of course.
and add an effective date. And you're gonna get her a copy of what you're,
Yeah, I can. It's just scratching this and.
It would leave the categories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just scratch this part over here and leave this stuff. And just that sentence, to be used at the discretion of the.
not to exceed 50%, or that's already up.
No, leave that in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they can't.
That's up to-
10% increments and 50%. So you can't.
And then just add no minimum acres requirement. Then just add a sentence, to be used at the discretion of the local assessor.
Okay,
Doesn't change it much, but at least it gives a little.
Does something.
So you want me to draft this up plus a letter coming from the commission, have Troy sign it, and then I send it to Linda.
Yeah, I think we got till February 1st, so
yeah, you can bring it
We
back
could
here.
look at it again.
Okay.
we could look at it the next meeting, yeah.
Yep, you can bring the letter to the next meeting too, or whatever. Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. So now we can move on to the B and D deal.
I didn't quite understand that.
Yeah, it just certifies that we have insurance on that building,
Okay.
that the lease revenue bond is financing.
And we do.
And do we?
Have insurance on that building? Yeah,
Sheet?
Put a line through Griggs County General
I think so.
Obligation. Yeah.
We certainly can.
Should resurrect that art.
Let's get that argument going again.
Not that we can win it. Doesn't mean that I won't make it.
So do we need to send a certificate of the county that's enclosed for your convenience? Okay. Do we need to send them a copy of the insurance?
I think this is all they want.
Okay, but I mean, for our own satisfaction, should we do that? Make sure this thing is covered?
They're trusting souls that booth and keep telling me.
Well, here's, I guess it doesn't matter because we are the building authority now, but
Right.
I think the building authority is the lost payee.
Offline, or stay offline. No, the bank in North Dakota is the lost payee.
They are.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the lost payee because, yeah, they hold that until, like it burned down, they would hold that until the building authority decided what they're gonna do with it. If they're gonna rebuild it, release the funds to be rebuilt. If not, they would pay off the note.
Okay. So, do you have the deck sheet for that insurance policy?
I have a folder of all the insurance information.
Okay.
The front
So,
page would be the deck sheet.
the declaration sheet for that building should probably go with that deal.
Okay. That's just for our peace of mind.
Right. Okay. Courthouse snow removal. As you can see, the snow, not all the snow is getting moved over there. So,
What is
As-
it getting moved doesn't look like, looks like handwork.
it is.
Yeah.
It was that little snow blower in there. As you recall, here a meeting or two ago, Wayne requested that we go to Kubota and buy him a skid steer. My personal thoughts are probably it would be more wise to just hire one of these local guys like Tim Erickson or Brent Elson just to mow it.
But is that gonna, is a Bobcat skid steer gonna do what needs, I mean, that's not gonna get, still someone needs to shovel something.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be Brian Pfeiffer's job?
Well, it appears like the county could come up with the tractor that we just, and get most of it, and that little snowblower should do the rest.
What are you gonna do with that big tractor on the sidewalk?
Not on the sidewalk, but on the front and on the back here. You know, it would still leave, 2 or 3 feet or something.
Huh?
No, the sidewalk not. I mean, that'll take a Bobcat. And we can, I mean, that's fine.
And the thing is with the tractor, they don't necessarily have an operator available when the snow needs to be done.
Right.
I wonder if that's a bigger sticking point when they're out. When there's a snow event, they're out on the road.
I'd rather have him in the snowplow than in the
Yeah.
skid steer cleaning the courthouse sidewalks. Somebody else can do that. I don't know, but I don't know how you do it. I mean, I don't know what we're required to do. If we can just hire somebody, or we got to take bids. I mean, all Bobcat operators are not created equally. So just because you get an hourly price doesn't mean you're getting the cheapest one. But we'll have to have, whoever we hire, we're going to have some sort of proof of insurance. If they got to have a contractor's insurance. If somebody flattens something, it shouldn't be our problem.
Mm-hmm.
How do we do it now in the existing parking lot? Does Brian use that snowboard?
In this parking lot?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
he usually takes the payloader,
Who does?
Brian Pfeiffer.
He brings the county's payloader over here and does that.
Oh.
But you're not going to take that payloader down the sidewalk.
Not more than once anyway.
Well, that thing's pretty heavy.
But we don't do the sidewalk around the block then?
No.
Okay, that's just fine, I guess. Nobody says that, don't think so.
Well, I mean, can we just put in the paper a request for, it wouldn't have to be bids, a request for service, I mean, a request for service. And then just, we can interview the people that apply and determine best value.
Can we do it that way? I mean, that's pretty loose, right?
It is, but best value is actually the way to do it, because that takes into account all the different variables. Lowest price per hour doesn't necessarily mean best value to the entity.
No, I don't. We're gonna make them demonstrate?
Well, I mean, the way you quantify best value is experience, past experience, recommendations, insurance, the quality and type of the equipment, the quality and type of the people operating it. You know, it can be, there can be a lot of different variables in that, but it comes down to the discretion of the, just like you and I were hiring them personally, it comes down to the discretion of who's making the decision.
Right. Yeah, we can do that.
But if we're doing that, you know, one of the prerequisites should be then that a little bit of hand shoveling would have to be done also.
Yeah, I think we could put that in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we should do that. Even if you're in Bobcat, if you have to take a scoop shovel and shovel 2 feet away from the door so you can back drag it, I mean, that's not that big a deal.
Right.
Otherwise, you're gonna have to try to coordinate somebody to be there when it happens.
Yeah, no, I think we should do that and then just walk them around and show them what we want done and get a feel for what's out there. So the ad could be as simple as looking for proposals for moving snow in the new courthouse. Put it in the paper.
Please come to the next meeting.
Probably so. Or submit, or call Sam and, you know, just put the number in there for
Submit proposal in writing or,
attend,
okay,
So for the next meeting?
So we could have in there prerequisites for, you could have years of experience, insurance, contractor's insurance, type of equipment, prior references.
written that down.
I'll go back on the recording.
Yep.
Oh,
It's easier that way.
okay. Okay. Storm day. So I got a call last Tuesday and I told them just to leave the place locked up. So I made the decision for you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's right to do that or not, but it was pretty
Somebody has to.
You were put as the contact person to close the courthouse. The chairman is.
okay.
That's you.
So it's not happened since we've all been commissioners. So do we still pay all the staff and the officers for that day? Is that how it works?
Well, I would think so, but I don't know for that for a fact.
I don't know either.
But I think like the schools, other public government things, I think that's the way they do it.
I was hoping John would be here, so because he's
Yeah.
a state employee, he would know what they do too. But to me, that's probably. It doesn't matter for the elected officials, which is the vast majority of the people that were affected.
Yeah.
They don't punch the clock anyhow.
No.
So it's only the deputies that matter. And so I just think we should just do a regular day. It seems like to me. I don't know.
Yeah, as often as it happens, that sounds fine with me.
You know. So everybody will get paid for whatever.
Yep.
the normal thing. Do we need a motion to that effect, or do we not? I don't know if it's in, I was gonna look in the policy book and I didn't do it.
I don't know.
I can look in the policy manual.
Okay,
That would be good.
yeah, do that.
Well, I'll make a motion, we amend the policy manual to that effect if it isn't already there.
Okay. Second.
I'd second that.
Been moved by John and seconded by Dale that the deputies or the employees of the county get paid for a regular day if a storm day is called by the chairman, I guess. So I don't know how else to say it. Is there any discussion?
Well, I was just gonna bring up that, I remember years ago, 10 years ago, Paul Hendricks was sheriff. And when the county employees here got the day off, he raised hell. He said he wanted a day off for his deputies because the ones in the building got the day off and he didn't. But I'm still gonna vote for the motion, so.
Well, that's very,
And the road department, they're gonna work, they're not gonna get the day off, but, but
that's very possible. Good point.
They got the day off, they were just in the shop.
yeah, okay.
No,
Well,
I don't think they went out. I don't know what they did. I know Wayne got to town that day. He didn't say if he let his guys go home. He just called me that morning, but I'm sure they didn't go out and move snow. Anyway.
Well, maybe we'll have to look at it if it becomes an issue, maybe we'll have to look at that.
Right.
Who made the motion again?
John,
I didn't.
Dale seconded. Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. And John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries.
And that pertains to the courthouse employees, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
The emergency services employees like the sheriffs and the deputies,
They have to do
they
that.
almost have to. I mean, there's just no way. I mean, even if they're just answering the telephone and the radio.
That's the purpose of. How are you doing?
So extra pay.
That was for my stuff.
I know.
Okay, so I have a request, I guess, for the commission. While I was gone, I had some medical stuff to deal with while I was gone, and I was gone for 3 weeks, and it was kind of without warning, and I left Lori, and I tried to come in and make some notes when I could, but I was wondering if there was any way that we could give her and Christy a little extra pay for I feel that they went over and above to kind of help my office out. It's, I don't have any room in my budget to pay Lori anything extra, so but I was just wondering if maybe we could take it from the miscellaneous pay or perhaps the tax director's budget.
Could it come from emergency?
Well, did they work overtime?
Lori worked a few hours, but she's not going to get overtime because it was Thanksgiving in there, and you have to actually work the 40 hours. So it's only going to be.
Huh?
Yeah, if you have a holiday in there and
Yeah,
you
but she'll get
work,
paid for those extra hours.
right? Yeah.
But it won't be time and a half.
Right.
Oh, okay. So they get paid for every hour they're here?
Yep.
Okay.
She'll get paid for those extra hours, but it's not time and a half.
Isn't Thanksgiving a paid holiday?
Yes.
Okay, so then.
It counts to your 40 hours.
It counts as 8 hours.
But Jamie had told me a long time ago that because you didn't work.
That's not true.
If it's a paid holiday, it counts as work. So, well, I mean, so the people that had Thanksgiving off got 37 and a half hours. Okay, if Lori worked an hour past the following day, she should have 38 and a half hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
And if she
Is that
worked
true for a part-time?
5, she should have 2 hours.
Well, she would still have. She had told me that she had worked 10 hours over,
Right.
so she would still have 47.5.
Yep.
But Jamie had told me a while back that since you didn't work on Thanksgiving, you don't get time and a half. You would still get paid for those hours. You just wouldn't get time and a half. You would just get time.
I don't think that's accurate.
I don't know.
I can have him look into that, but this was kind of like a little kind of bonus pay, I guess, just for them kind of going a little over and above of taking care of stuff.
Overtime or extra time, yes, but I don't know how we then, where does that, I agree they put in extra work, but how do we start quantifying that?
Yep.
So you
They did extra work during work hours, so it really wasn't then other days you're.
I mean, some days you work really, really hard, and
Some days
not
not so
so much. And same thing there. No doubt, they. I just don't know how you, once you take that stride, how do you then start quantifying what people's job is, other than the way we quantify it now by time worked, not energy exerted. But that's, I don't know.
It's one of those things we'd say it comes out in the wash.
And it probably doesn't, unfortunately.
It doesn't if there was more than 40 hours put in.
No.
So, and Jamie's wrong. I've been paying people by the hour for a long time.
Me too.
If she put in, if she worked 10 hours of overtime that week of Thanksgiving, she better get 7.5 hours of overtime. That
I've been
is
paying
not.
people by the hour for a long time, and I never have to look up what the rules are, because they look them up for me.
Right, and they, as well they should, if they
Yeah, I
don't do
know.
it right.
I know.
No, so,
Okay. Sounds good.
I mean, we certainly are very appreciative of what they did. I just don't see a way to financially reward that other than the overtime that she put in.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. What was I looking for?
Storm days.
Yeah.
Maybe if it's not in the policy manual, I suppose it should be clarified in the policy manual.
I know that there's something in there about storm days that the chairman of the commission calls or makes the call, but I don't.
not how it's handled.
Yeah, I don't really-
administratively.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
I don't either.
So Thanksgiving, here, hang on.
Up here in February 10, the commission added 1 cent to the end of the inclement weather paragraph on page 28.
You guys wanna eat? I don't have a current weather here.
Inclement weather. Okay, should an employee choose not to attend work due to inclement weather when the county offices are still open, that employee will choose whether to use vacation time or leave without pay. If an employee is ill that day, however, he or she may use sick leave. That tells us something. That just addresses if the offices are open and you can't make it, not if the offices are closed.
Well, I think if the offices are closed, the decision has been removed from the employees. At that point, the way I look at it is, okay, that day some of the employees would have gotten here, some of them wouldn't have.
Right.
But there was so few that I felt that were gonna get here that it wasn't worth opening the courthouse for. So then I make the decision to close it. Well, the people that could get here would have. So you can't really penalize them for, I mean,
And the people that wouldn't have got here would have had to take a vacation day. to get
they
here.
would have.
Yeah,
But they wouldn't have made a differentiation if that wasn't the case,
yeah.
right? Because there have been times when I've been called and, you know, I should close the courthouse and I'm sitting at my desk in Macville saying, no, I don't think so, because I drove 65 miles an hour all the way to Macville and it's fine. So if somebody wants to stay home, they can, but they're not gonna do it. They're gonna have to take vacation.
Okay, so on the holiday thing here, is she a full-time employee? Okay. So if she's a full-time employee, she's required to work 40 hours or 37 and a half hours if there's no holiday. She's required to work 32 hours if there is a holiday. And anything she works over 32 hours and on that week there's a holiday would be overtime.
What about the deputies that are 60% or 50%?
It breaks it down here, so a 7/8 time employee is 35 hours, is required to work 28. A 4/5 employee
Oh,
would work 26 hours and. it
Why
breaks
wouldn't
it down.
that be 30 hours instead of 32? That's kind of a funny deal.
No, because it's full-time, 8 hours a day, 40 hours, 5 days a week, 32, 8 hours, 40 minus 32.
Yeah, but these guys don't work 40 hours.
And I know, they fall in between, they're a 15/16 employee. I mean, that's really what they are, we don't have a category for them, so.
Okay.
So she has to work, okay, so.
Everything over 32 hours that week, she gets paid overtime for.
Yep.
Time and a half,
Yep.
okay.
if they're a 4/5 employee.
No, that's it, no, that's if they're a full-time
Oh,
employee.
okay.
If they're a 4/5 employee, then 26 hours is what they have to put in if there's a holiday involved. So the 4/5 employee would put in 32 hours normally, and if there's a holiday involved, 26 hours. So they would have to give back, they would have to work an extra, if they took the whole day off, they would have to work an extra 2 hours in order to fill in for it. And again, it has a formula there for that. Yeah.
Making it complicated.
I didn't do it.
Oh,
I didn't read it.
No, I wasn't blaming you for making
No.
it complicated. Somebody else already got it done.
Yeah. So here's an example. A 4/5 time employee works 8 hours on Monday through Thursday. Then there's a holiday, the employee is required to work 26 hours, as illustrated in the chart above. If the holiday falls on the employee's day off, which is Friday, the employee may take the holiday on a regular scheduled work day, but will need to work an extra 2 hours on another day in order to work the required 26 hours for a week. Yeah.
You understand that?
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
Well, she does it every week, so
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
she better.
And that's the way you do it, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I was under the assumption that since she didn't work on Thanksgiving, she couldn't get the time and a half until she worked that.
That would be a severe penalty. I don't.
But she's a full-time employee. But Thanksgiving would fall on her day off. She could have taken another day off, a work day off, which would have put in 2 hours that day in order to be, if she's a 4/5 employee. Yeah.
But for a full-time employee, Thanksgiving couldn't fall on your day off.
No, but I mean, it could on some of these other ones. If the holiday falls on your day off,
Yeah.
you can't move, what you're saying is you can't move your day off. Oh, if the holiday's gonna fall on your day off, you can't move your day off to a different day, so you still get the holiday plus your day off. You still have to put in the 26 hours that week in order to qualify. I'm sure that's where it came from, so my day off is gonna be Friday, and there's a holiday on Friday, I'm gonna take my day off on Thursday and take the Friday off, now I only worked 24 hours. I mean, someone gamed the system, not here, but, so they made a rule. You get the day off, but you have to work 26 hours in order to do it.
December 30th special meeting.
You guys usually have a special meeting at the end of the year to pay remainder of bills for 2016. Could we have this special meeting on the 30th or the 29th? Looking at the schedule now, the 29th would probably work better if
The
that
30th
works.
is our normal day, man.
I don't have you. This is your second meeting of the month. I had you at the 2nd and the 16th.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought we were meeting every other Friday.
I think it's just the first and third Fridays, and we skip the third
Oh.
Friday.
Okay.
So if you guys could do the 29th so that then we can start closing books, that would be really awesome. But
And you have quite a few other things, John, that we're supposed to be doing then, transferring money from this account into the, I can't even remember the words anymore.
amending budgets,
Well, into the,
general fund,
no, into the unspent or non-disposed of funds.
unencumbered,
Unencumbered, yeah, maybe that was it.
unencumbered
Transfer
funds.
into the unencumbered funds, then back out into the budget. And there were certain budget numbers, weren't there, that had to be closed out or some darn thing? I can't exactly remember what all, I know you had a good handle on it, John, so.
I mean, that was all, hang on,
There's
1
a list
o'clock.
of the changes in the policy manual, but we just, the motion will have to be,
Yeah. So, okay.
Well, really, I mean, it isn't a matter of actually doing it at that time, it's a matter of doing it, it's a matter of adjusting the Dakotasoft software, really.
Which hasn't been done in the past.
And we still haven't, we still haven't determined whether we're gonna go that route. I mean, the route we're going right now, we carry these balances over in the software, and then we fight with trying to carry those balances over in the budget when that isn't essentially according to the way we're supposed to do it, because the budget is just a way of keeping track of the dollars we spent. There's not an actual fund that these dollars go into. We still spend it out of the county treasury. It's just an allocation of how much money you can spend. So, in essence, you don't send any money back to the county treasury out of the budget. When the budget closes, the money that isn't spent is automatically closed out because the budget year closed out. There's no more authority to spend it. Well, once the budget year closed out, that's it. That's the money you spent and you're done. And the balance of the county treasury is the balance of the county treasury. We haven't been doing it that way. The road fund is a prime example, and some of the other ones, some of the special funds you couldn't, but it would make things so much easier budgeting wise if we could do it the other way. So then the budget is, everything goes back to the county treasury, the column that says money brought forward. You have the closing balance, 16 will have the closing balance, it'll show you how much you didn't use. Money brought forward in 17 will be 0. And then you start out with the amount of money you need to spend in 17. Then you bring in the money out of the county treasury, unappropriated balance, to the amount that you deem necessary, and then the rest is levy. But that hasn't been done that way. The reason it hasn't been done that way is because I believe a couple reasons. One was levy limits and having too many funds within the general fund. They were hitting, it looks like way back then, they were hitting the mill levy cap in the general fund. So they couldn't operate without bringing more money or keep rolling money over. And then the road fund was the other one. We were trying to build up monies in the road fund. But the bringing it out of the unappropriated funds doesn't change that at all. The money's still there. It just takes, it just is a different way of accounting for how it's done. But we would have to adjust our accountant so that he does it to show that, because if you notice, he shows, I think last year he showed 400,000 in unappropriated funds, which is completely false. And once the budget is closed for that year, those monies are all unappropriated. So he showed 400,000 unappropriated funds, but 2.6 million assets of the county. Well, it can't, where did the rest of the money go? And it just can't be lingering in those budgets.
Yeah, but Dakota software doesn't do that automatically, does it?
Just in the general fund.
Sure, that's it, because the general fund is a microcosm of how we should be doing everything. So the auditor's budget, when it closes out at the end of the year, she doesn't carry any money over her budget. It all goes to the general fund. Well, that's exactly what we need to do overall.
But are you saying, does Samantha have to make any changes, or not?
Sure, she should. Well, it should start as a zero balance in the fund. 2017 should start as a zero balance in all the funds.
So she would have to do that transfer.
And then the budgeted amount for each fund should then be implanted and be the balance in the fund. Right now, what we do, we don't close it out. So if there's a $10,000 fund balance, and then we add the next year's budget to it, it doesn't tell us exactly where we're at. But again, the general fund is exactly how it's supposed to be done, except in the general fund, then they don't take the next step and send that back to the unappropriated balance.
Yeah. So it doesn't sound like it would be a lot of work for you, but I mean, I'm not an accountant, but it didn't sound like it would be a tremendous number of hours to me to do it that way.
It doesn't make a huge difference,
Yeah.
probably. If the estimated carryover is accurate during the budgeting process, then that number is already kind of built in,
Yeah.
you know, because that when you levy, you're projecting a surplus, however much surplus you're projecting, the levy is already adjusted by that amount. So when you get to the end of the year, if that's about where you're at, then it's just kind of it's negligible how much that would change anything.
That's how I was figuring that we were getting everything at zero before we do the budget, because we already push in the balance that then brings the levy down that amount. So then once you put in the levy amount, you're only at the budget amount.
Yeah, but what that allows us to do, which we can't do, is forward budget, because then we keep some of these balances that we're carrying in these funds are multiple years. So we budgeted money. Prior county commissions budgeted money 10 years ago that is still being used for the purpose of building up that budget to be used in later years, and that's just. And the other problem is because of that,
That seems like an issue with budgeting.
You don't know what the carry is going to be either, because remember, like this year, we had to wait. We hadn't had the audit done yet, so we're trying to guess on what the carry is going to be. It's important to have that carry number from the prior year, so you know kind of how you're going here. Because you're right, the carry that you show should be what you bring out of the unappropriated funds. That should be your signal on how much you need to bring out.
It seems like you're pouring it all in a pail and then you're taking that same amount and putting it back into the budget again.
Except we got to get to a point where the pail on the other side has been added to for so many years that we have no idea how much of that money was. And again, it's done that way in the general fund, that it works really easily. So Samantha, at the end of the year, if she has $20 left in her budget, when she starts out in 17, that 20 didn't get added to what we budgeted. It just starts out clean again, what her amount of money she needed. And again, that's a budget is for a year, and that's it, other than a few special funds that need to carry balances. It would make things so simple from Samantha's standpoint and Ron and I's standpoint, which when we try to go through this, because we struggle with trying to determine how much money is actually being spent and how much is still remaining there, and it would be easier if we could do it the other way. And in essence, we do. It's just it's never been cleaned up for all these years. So what do you think about it? I mean,
So on the, if we meet like the 29th, we could go through, pay the remainder of 2016 bills and then do budget amendments. Or put 2017 budget on the agenda as well.
well, I mean, the way to do it is, okay, so
You're not gonna be able to take care of what you're talking about after they close the books,
correct.
or
Okay.
during the closing of the books.
So the audited close of the books.
Okay, that's fine. So should we have a meeting on the 29th?
Yeah. So the audited close of the books, so we know exactly how much money, and then we start that, so that we do the budget starting from zero. And then theoretically, you could do this budget with a spreadsheet and a pencil. Because all it would be the amount of money that we budgeted for it, and you'd start with zero. Here's the money brought in, here's the levy, here's the balance. Be really easy. And rightly so, it was invented before computers were invented. That's method it was.
Okay, was the 29th?
Thursday.
What time? 1 o'clock?
Whatever time works for you guys, it works for me.
That's fine.
1 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Motion.
Yeah, I moved, we have a special meeting on the 29th at 1 o'clock to cover the year-end accounting stuff.
Been moved by Ron that we have a special meeting on the 29th of December to take care of the year-end business. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 2017 commission meetings.
Are you guys wanting to still do 2 meetings a month? Can we get it down to 1 meeting a month next year? I know that you guys, or I had listened to the recording a little bit, and you guys do have some bid openings in the beginning of the year. So we could start the year out until March 3rd, I think, is when you guys bid the last project. So we'll have 2 meetings a month until March 3rd, and then start going to 1 meeting a month.
I think the discussion, well, we do have to decide that right now, don't we?
You do.
Yeah, we gotta set the schedule.
If I recall the discussion correctly, I brought this up at the last meeting, and I think the wishes of the commission were that we meet twice a month until we get that courthouse completed anyway, because there's going to be decisions that need to be made.
Okay.
I think that was the discussion, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So with that said, we scheduled those bid openings on those dates because we decided that we're going to meet.
Yep.
So,
But I have to make a yearly calendar.
right.
So do I make them for every, or 2 meetings a month? All the way through,
Well, I
or
think-
just till March 3rd?
Maybe starting in March, should we just have 1 meeting a month? Do you think we can
If you guys
forecast
need,
that?
if you guys need special meetings, we
Yeah, we can always do two.
During budget time, they'll take more meetings than that usually,
Yeah.
just because it takes all of us to make a decision on some of this stuff. That's why I'm fine with that. I mean,
Yeah, I'm fine.
schedule them through March 1st, and then
And then do 1 a month after that.
When do you want that one?
I don't care.
Doesn't matter to me.
Well, maybe it should be January, February. Maybe it should be like start.
If it's going to be like Fridays, then it should be like the 3rd Friday.
Right?
Because we got month-end bills that are going to need to be taken care of.
All of them.
The only thing with that is we have to have, I could maybe work it out with Connie, but we have to have payments out to like the districts and stuff like that by the 10th.
Which day would you prefer?
I prefer not Fridays,
Oh, well, I mean,
just because
I think for Sean, that's kind of.
that's the best.
Yeah.
I
I didn't know if the first Friday or second Friday or third Friday
Yeah,
or fourth Friday, which Friday you preferred.
maybe this,
Don't you think it's still gonna be hard? I mean, every 2 weeks, we end up paying bills, and we end up doing a lot of stuff that can't hold over for another 2 weeks.
I don't know, they were doing it once a month since 1884, before we got in here, it must be a way.
a lot of the other counties do it just one meeting,
Yeah.
so I don't know. Should we start meeting in the mornings maybe?
Maybe not 1884, 1889. No, the courthouse was built in 1884. Them guys had to come in the wagon. It took them a while to get here.
Yeah, but
From Broadview.
Longer happy already.
Yeah.
They might have go in the wagon till the next day.
Probably a happy hour during the meeting.
We could start in the mornings too, and so that we have the day to do stuff.
Mornings would work very good for me. I always got stuff to do. But I mean, I can change it, but.
So Fridays are the best for you guys.
Well, it has to be scheduled around how these bills are paid and what needs to be done. I mean, that's.
Let's do nothing today. You put your head together with your cohorts and tell us which day you think is the best from a county standpoint.
Do you want that before the new year, or so should I bring that up on the 29th?
Right.
Or
That's fine.
Okay.
Because it has to be where it works so that we get.
Because it always used to be the third Tuesday, right?
Yeah, but I think for Sean, he just can't make.
I think.
No. I'm just talking about
Oh,
time
okay.
of the month. It's going to be a Friday.
Okay, all right.
I think that's his day where he's in town, so.
Right,
Yep.
yeah.
New courthouse, old courthouse.
Did you talk to mechanical?
Yeah, all he says is next week. I'll call him again.
Okay, well, that's.
Could he put that fan in?
Sure. Yeah,
In a grate?
easily,
In a grate?
yeah.
We just got a grate in that door.
Well, the door's kind of hard. It's a solid core door, and it might have steel inside. It might be a honeycomb kind of solid core door. It's hard. There might be steel or something inside it. Is it solid wood? But it's solid.
It's solid, but
Yeah.
I don't think there's steel in it.
Oh.
I don't think.
Could be easier just to cut between the studs right next to it.
That's fine. I don't care.
A lot easier. It is.
How about moving into the building, road department, gonna work, or are we gonna hire somebody to, when they start carrying stuff over there?
Did somebody ask the road department? I think Lori was gonna ask.
Larry was going to ask him.
If they would move the furniture.
I didn't hear, so I'll ask.
You know, they may have time constraints where that's not gonna work for them, or.
Not really.
No.
If they're moving snow for a week, we'll move in a week later. It don't matter. This building is working just fine.
Yeah.
Kind of has been since what, 1884, I think.
It was either 1884, 1889. I can't remember what you decided.
No, 1884 was when this building was built.
Oh, okay.
1889 was when we became a state. But I don't know how the county governments worked before that. I suppose we had territorial counties or something.
No, we've been working with that. And we may as well keep it for a spare. In 50 years, we got to tear that one down. We can use this one in temporary. We'll get moved into the new one again.
Pretty sure that won't be a decision I'm going to be around for now.
Well, neither.
Can I ask a question? Is
It's on the agenda.
Well, it's about my office over there, about my light. I just want to know if it's going to get moved or if it's not, so that when we do move, I keep a space open for it to be moved, or...
Stopper. Wow.
Okay, we'll install that.
That one room I walked into today had a motion sensor in it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know why they put the light switch way down there.
They moved the door.
The door was supposed to be down.
Oh.
So I didn't know if that was like something that Craig could do too.
No, well.
No.
So Mike Hanson could.
It'd be easier to move the outlet than move the door. Or to move the switch, I mean.
Is that something that I can just ask Mike to do? Because it's not over $1,000 to move that light switch.
Leave the light on.
Okay. So it's gonna be left where it is.
I don't know.
For now.
Okay.
Future business?
We may as well get it on future business so we don't forget about it.
Sounds like such.
She's not gonna let us forget, John.
I'll look at it next time I'm home, or I'll lift up the season now.
Yeah, I've never looked at it either, I'm not sure.
I mean, it's quite possible, there's quite possible enough room, to just lift up the ceiling tile, loosen the wire, pull it back up and shoot it out over there. I'll look at it over there.
Is it in your storage room? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Storage.
And it's like halfway down the wall.
And it's not a use thing, it's just bugger.
Sounds like maybe afraid of the dark.
I think it's just one of those things that's bugger.
Let's put a light light there.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Been moved by Dale and seconded by Ron that we adjourn. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned at 3:50 p.m. Next special meeting on December 29th at 1 p.m. and then the next regular meeting is on January 6th at 1 p.m.